My name is Norman, and I'm 72 years old. You see, 3 months ago, I got the call. Stage 3 colon cancer. The doctor's office was cold, sterile. I remember staring at this poster on the wall about digestive health while she explained treatment options, survival rates, all of it. And you know what went through my mind? Not fear, not anger, just this strange thought. So this is how my story ends. But here's what nobody tells you about getting news like that. The first week, you're numb. You tell your family, you make appointments, you research treatments. You're in survival mode. Honestly, it's the second week when it hits you, really hits you. I woke up one morning, looked at my wife sleeping next to me, and I started crying. Not because I was scared of dying. I was crying because I suddenly saw my entire life laid out in front of me like a map. And I could see all the places I took wrong turns. I spent 38 years as an accountant. 38 years. I was good at it, made decent money, provided for my family, retired with a pension. But here's the truth I never admitted until cancer forced me to look at it. I hated it. Not every day, but most days. I hated the fluorescent lights, the endless spreadsheets, the performance reviews, the office politics. You know, I stayed because it was safe, because it paid the bills, because that's what responsible adults usually do, right? When I was 23, I wanted to be a woodworker. I loved working with my hands, creating things. My grandfather taught me when I was a kid. We built a bookshelf together when I was 12, and I still have it in my living room. But woodworking doesn't pay well. It's not stable. So I went into accounting because my father said it was practical. And you know what? He was right. It was practical. It just wasn't mine. Now, I'm not saying everyone should quit their job and follow some dream. That's not realistic advice. You see, bills have to get paid. Kids need shoes. I get it. But what I am saying is this. There's a difference between making a living and making a life. And most of us, we get so caught up in the making a living part that we forget about the other half entirely. After my diagnosis, something shifted. My oncologist laid out this aggressive treatment plan, chemotherapy, possible surgery, the whole deal. And I agreed to it, obviously. But I also went down to my garage, cleared out 20 years of accumulated junk, and set up a proper workshop. Bought some good tools. Started working with wood again for the first time in decades. My wife thought I'd lost my mind. "Norman," she said, "shouldn't you be resting, conserving your strength?" And maybe she had a point. The chemo makes me tired. Honestly, some days I can barely get out of bed. But on the days I can work, even just for an hour or two, I feel more alive than I have in years. Last week I finished a jewelry box for my granddaughter. Walnut with maple inlays. It's not perfect. My hands shake more than they used to, but it's real. It's something I made. Here's what cancer teaches you that nothing else can. You don't have unlimited time to become the person you want to be. You think you do. When you're young, 40 years seems infinite. Even at 50, at 60, you tell yourself there's still time. There's always tomorrow. But sometimes tomorrow doesn't come. Or it comes with an expiration date stamped on it. I've been thinking a lot about regret lately. Not the big dramatic regrets, like cheating on my wife or committing some crime. I never did anything like that. It's the quiet regrets that haunt you. The dinner parties I skipped because I was tired. The times my kids asked me to throw a ball around and I said, maybe later, because I had work to finish. the weekend trips my wife wanted to take that I postponed because we should save money. All those little moments where I chose the safe, practical, responsible option over the living option. My son came to visit last month. He's 47 now, works in insurance. We were sitting in my workshop and I was showing him how to use a chisel properly. And he said something that broke my heart. He said, "Dad, I didn't know you could do this. I wish you'd taught me when I was a kid. And the thing is, I wish I had too. But I was too busy working late, too busy being responsible, too busy preparing for a future that I thought would last forever." Here's the thing. Nobody wants to admit we're all terminal, every single one of us. Some of us just have a clearer timeline than others. That sounds morbid, but it's not. It's actually liberating once you accept it. It means every choice you make today matters. Not someday, today. You know what the strangest part about having cancer is? People start treating you differently. They get this careful tone, this pity in their eyes. They say things like, "Stay strong," and "You've got this," and I appreciate it. But sometimes I want to tell them, you should be asking yourself these questions too, not waiting for a diagnosis to force you to. I'm not cured. The doctors are cautiously optimistic, but it's still touch and go. I might have 5 years. I might have 10. I might have 6 months. Nobody knows. But listen, I'll tell you what's changed. I don't waste time on things that don't matter anymore. I don't argue about politics with my brother-in-law. I don't stress about the stock market. I don't care if the neighbor's lawn looks better than mine. Instead, I work in my shop. I have long conversations with my wife where we actually listen to each other. I call my kids not to give advice, but just to hear their voices. I teach my granddaughter how to sand wood properly, how to feel the grain, how to be patient with your hands. You see, these are small things. They won't change the world, but they're changing my world, and that's all I've got. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, that's nice for Norman, but I can't just quit my job and become a woodworker, you're missing the point. I'm telling you to look at your life, really look at it, and ask yourself, am I living or am I just existing? There's this moment in chemotherapy about 2 hours in where the drugs really start hitting your system. Your mouth gets this metallic taste, your body feels heavy, and in those moments, I don't think about my career or my retirement account. I think about my wife's laugh. I think about the smell of sawdust. I think about my daughter falling asleep on my shoulder during a car ride. Honestly, these are the things that matter. Everything else is just noise. You might be watching this and thinking I'm being dramatic because I'm sick. Maybe you're right, but I don't think so. I think I'm finally being honest in a way I never let myself be before. For 72 years, I played by the rules. I did what was expected. I was a good employee, a good husband, a good father, but I wasn't always good to myself. I didn't honor the things that made me who I really am. My grandfather told me something when I was young that I didn't understand until now. He said, "Norman, at the end of your life, nobody's going to care how clean you kept your desk." I thought he was just being folksy, maybe a little bitter. But he was trying to tell me something important. He was trying to tell me to live. If there's anything I want you to take from this, it's this. Don't wait for cancer or a heart attack or some other crisis to give yourself permission to live the life you actually want. You don't need permission. You already have it. The question is whether you'll use it. I started chemotherapy on a Tuesday. On that Saturday, despite feeling terrible, I went down to my shop and started a new project, a chess set hand-carved for my son. Will I finish it? I don't know, but I'm going to try, because trying is what matters. Showing up for the things that make you feel human is what matters. Some of you watching this are in jobs you hate. Some of you are in relationships that don't fulfill you anymore. You know, some of you have dreams you put in a drawer 20 years ago and told yourself you'd get back to them someday, and that someday keeps getting pushed further and further away. Stop pushing it. Start today. Not tomorrow, not next year, today. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that following your dreams will solve all your problems or that everything will work out if you just believe hard enough. Life doesn't work like that. But what I will tell you is that living with intention, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, beats sleepwalking through existence every single time. My prognosis isn't great, but it's not hopeless either. Maybe I'll beat this thing, maybe I won't. Either way, I'm spending whatever time I have left doing things that matter to me with people I love, creating things with my hands. That's more than a lot of people can say. Even people who are perfectly healthy. How you think about time and purpose. I'll put the links in the comments and the description. On this channel, myself and others share life advice and memories from our experiences. If you found this valuable, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. And if you resonated with any of this, leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to start doing differently. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because I've got more to say while I still can. If you've got your own story to share, something you think people should hear,